I'll just start by connecting to breath. And feeling the hands, the space of the hands. And feel that you're entering into the space of the hands. And that sense of being inside the hands, let that extend from the hands, through the wrists and up the arms. To the shoulders and the chest. And allowing the abdomen to grow softer. And if we take this position of a creative agent with perceptual flexibility, what's available is being an agent, a participant in an emergent creative impulse. And to me, it feels a little bit like smelling the air to find out if a storm is coming. Not quite having all of the evidence, but gathering. It's that listening, waiting, observant. And we can take this perceptual stance but that means we go forward without knowing with certainty what we're proceeding into. So there's and so I just invite us to play with that. How would I proceed as if something is emerging? I am an active participant in sensing that emergence. I'm an active participant in allowing that way of seeing the world to even happen. I just firmly believe that we are all artists, and we are all driven by creative impulse. It does not require an identity of artist. We just are. So that's my belief. Let's change the cross of our legs. Let's go right over left. You decide what that right over left is. I'm going to select knee pile. You can go shoelace or cross-legged. Take a few rounds of alternate nostril breathing. We'll take 2 rounds or 4 breaths. And then we'll switch the cross of our legs and we'll do another 4 breaths. Okay. I'm just choosing my right hand right now. With the feet lightly active. Inhale. Inhale through the left nostril. I don't know when that fullness feeling will arrive, but I can just feel for it onsetting, feel for it, and then I can close the nostril and hold. What will I feel when I know I need to release the breath? I don't know. Don't know. But we'll know in that moment. And of course, when you do decide, exhale, lift up, exhale out the right nostril. What will I feel on that way to empty? Don't know. Have I done this 1,000 times before? Yes. But what will I feel today? Don't know. Continue. 3 more breaths on this side. We'll change the cross of legs and we'll do 4 breaths, or a couple rounds of alternate nostril breathing, other side. There's no predetermined boundary. There's no predetermined breath rate. There's no predetermined cresting of the breath. There's no predetermined need to release at a particular time. If you love rules, this is a challenging practice, perhaps. Does this way of experiencing populate up some anxiety or groundless feeling? Does it feel amorphous, uncertain? Or does it feel freeing? One of the things I love about this don't know mind, or this don't know kind of practice, is it plants us firmly and squarely in the reliance on our experience. And just finishing up the round or so that you have on that second side. Imagine we're all on the second side. Let's place soles of feet together, Baddha Konasana. Folding forward. So just simply walking the hands forward. Some people like to put the arms against the shins to create a little leverage. It's fine, you don't have to pull even that hard. Allow the neck to relax and the eyes to soften. So our perception is prone to bodily habits. I mean, I notice that if I pursue something with a kind of a knowing, like I'm really right about this, I can feel very particular contractions, often around the eyes and about the sight and the brain, sometimes even the neck. You might feel a subtle or a particular drawing in of your sight, or a particular stance, a way that you affirm yourself in your stance. When we walk back up, we can use hands to help the legs together. Let's lie on back, and we'll be using a roll or a block, going right to abs with a roll. I want to just show you this alternate way that we'll work this morning, which is leaving the head on the ground and placing your hands on your hips. There's a lot of muscles around the hip bones, like the abdomen, around the waist, the glute, the top of the butt, the side of the butt, all that musculature around the hip. We may not realize it's contracting, but if our hands are there, we may be able to feel those contractions. And why it's become of interest of me is sometimes when part of the pelvis contracts, like just part of the pelvic floor, part of the glute, or it's often over time where we start to accrue these very unusual like hip and back pains. So just as a little exercise, we're going to keep the head on the ground and the hands on the hips. I've got my elbows flared like wings against the ground. And I'm actually steadying both halves of my torso, so I can feel if one side gets a little twisted or one side feels a little short. That's it. Inhale right between your hands. Hold that breath, and as you apply the squeeze onto your roller block, just keep tracking with your hands what the pelvis does. You may feel some surprising little twists or contractions, so just sensing for those. Exhale, keeping the head down, draw the belly down, reach the legs up, reach all the way up through the inner leg, arch. Good, inhale, gonna soften a little bit. Hands are still on the hips, and you can use a little pressure if you like. You don't have to, don't fatigue your hands. Squeeze the object, and again, just playing and feeling. Does the pelvis stay equally on the ground? Maybe one hip engages more. Exhale, reach up through the inner legs. Pull low belly down. Good, inhale. Hold that breath. Squeeze the object. And now flex the feet. So you're actively now exhaling and reaching up through the heel bones. Reaching up through the heels, straightening the legs. And if you're squeezing inadvertently, there's some muscles around the outside of the hip. You can start to notice that, and you can even play with, can I relax those? Can I engage on that prop without squeezing the entire complex, the entire pelvic and hip complex? That's a really interesting game. Let's do a few more. So please continue. Muscles do not necessarily all contract in symmetry, and so the point of placing the hands on the waist is just to feel how that might be so, where that might be so, if that is so. Yeah, so you'll get to leave the sacrum on the ground, Brett. That's kind of the nice thing about working this way. There you go. And this will be like the last one. And then when you set the feet down, you can remove that prop. We'll turn over for Dolphin. Inhaling into the sides of the ribs. And relaxing neck, exhale the knees off the ground. Have we been in Dolphin 1,000 times before? Probably. But I find it takes thousands more reps to really start to get the hang of slipping back in to this emergent vision way of being in our body. This don't know. So again, breathing into the upper back like it's the first time we're exploring the back of heart. What will we find? What will we feel? Don't know until we're actually inhabiting and feeling the bodily evidence occurring, moving. We don't know until we know. So as this very moment to moment kind of this moment to moment quality about it. Now, separating the feet, just hip width is perfect. And we'll prepare to take the right hand away from the ground. Okay, so I'm going to shift weight to the left, pick the elbow up, and initially I'm just going to slide my fingertips to the ground just so I can have a little bit of support. As I'm reaching through the inner parts of the legs, pressing through the heels, and moving each sit bone away from the ribs. And if that feels really comfy, you can place the right hand behind the back. But you have to really press out through that left arm. And return the right arm to the ground. And now preparing for this other one arm, the switch, lean some weight into the right. Remove the left elbow. And just for a moment, I'll keep my left hand on the ground just till I can feel some steadiness, relaxing the neck. Pressing through both inner legs, just like we did with that roll. I'm using those roll moves, pressing out through the heels. I can always take that left hand behind the back. And return the hand to the ground, and we'll set the knees down. Let's stand at the top of our mat. Chair pose, inhale, As we reach the arms up, bend the knees. A slight shift in the tailbone. Exhale, fold, softening through the core, letting the neck go. Monkey, inhale, collar away from lap. And exhale, we'll step back, lowering down from plank, all the way belly to earth. Inhale, cobra. Reach back through the legs as vibrantly as you pull the chest forward. Exhale, downward dog. Warrior one, inhale, right foot forward. I will remain here for some breaths. Warrior one, drawing the arms up. Exhaling just lightly, lightly. The tailbone can shift down, but I'm also pressing out through that back heel. There's this little spiraling, rotational, reaching out through the heel. I'm really working this back leg much like I had with those abdominals, with the roll. Kind of flexing the foot, reaching out through the heel. Lower the arms for ostrich. Interlace the hands behind the back. Inhale. Broadening through the chest. And exhale. Please remember, if there's any back concerns, you can always rest the ribs on the thigh. I'll be allowing the trunk to kind of hang down or suspend down away from the leg, inside the leg. Do I really know how to solve that ache or that little quirky bit in the shoulder or the rib or the gut or the hip? I'm practicing don't know. Can I breathe as if all of this is new occurrence? Feeling every little pop, every little reorganization anew. Inhale, bring the hand down. Now, lunge. Set left hand down, set left knee down. Use the right arm to hug, therefore to turn. One of the things that really fascinated me, it was striking to me, as you know, I was in jury duty the other week, was how much of the questioning was simply asking us to have some basic Zen experience, to have some basic yogic principles helping us to be neutral. So I kind of walked away from that saying a baseline of citizenry, as asked of us by our judicial system here in America, is that we can maintain a don't know or a neutral mind. Like this is kind of odd and amazing This basic mindset of, can I suspend my predetermined, my knowings, my expertise, my experience, and can I simply see neutrally this moment, this person who shows up on the mat? Inhale, come back to center. Hands to ground, exhale, chaturanga. Way lower, belly to ground. Both halves of pelvis felt on the ground. Feel both bones equally near the ground. Inhale right between those hip bones. Using the hands to draw the chest forward. If you feel any extraneous contractions, that might set off a whole chain of compensatory tensions around the abdomen, inside the gut spine area, the hip socket, the pelvic floor. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. Reset the hands. Press back. Warrior one, inhale, left foot forward. And draw the arms up. And pressing out through that right heel. Whether it touches the ground or not, you can exert a reach so that you're feeling the whole back of the leg. Invoking a slide rotational. So I'm reaching out through the heel and also slightly internally rotating that right leg. Yeah, that's it, Brett. And just when you do that rotation, that's fine. Just keep reaching out through the heel. Don't sacrifice the heel reach to rotate. There you go. Yep, exactly. And you just got so much lift. You felt the back of that leg there's a ton of support in that back of leg engaging. I almost feel like the back of my thigh is being drawn kind of up and back. It's like attracted to that wall behind me. Ostrich. We'll take the hands behind the back, interlaced. Inhale. And exhale, we'll fold to the inside of thigh. And inhaling, bringing hands down to waist. Release. Place the right knee down for lunge. The right hand and the right knee down. Left arm supplies the turn, the hug, the turn. I find that I sense the exact same aches and little, just those little aches and pains. I'll often experience a lot of the same stuff. when I'm in that same mind frame, like, oh, I know what's here, I know what pain I usually discover here. It's really astounding when I try something new and it's a little perceptual shift. I start to breathe a little differently, and really the body opens up in a new way. Inhale, unwind. Set the hands down, exhale. We'll step the left foot back. And lower all the way down. Here, we're going to engage the buttock muscles a little more. Fingertips to the bottom of the butt. Working that, this boat variation. Fingertips grab up by the sit bones. And the buttock now contracts against the fingertips. Keeping both halves of the pelvis on the ground. Inhale right under those fingertips. Lifting the chest. Exhale, pull with the fingertips. Elbows lift toward the sky. Legs reach back. We'll give it another 1 or 2 breaths there. And release. Inhale, hands under chest. Exhaling, downward dog. All right, I'm going to sit up for pyramid. I choose a block. Inhale the right foot forward. And I'm having that block set up because of the next pose mostly. So I recommend just toss a block up by your foot. And folding, outreaching through the legs. Now, if you recognized some kind of asymmetric or asynchronous contractions around the pelvis, it's not uncommon, I recommend playing for a while with really soft, like a softness. So while I'm saying these words like engage, which tends to bring up these feelings of turning muscles on, you might want to have a bypass some of those cues for a while to play on the softer side. I find some of those wild horsey contractions can do really well with kind of a cool bath of just relaxing and softness and not engaging in those rote ways. Okay. So left hand on the, well, let's do it this way, pardon me. Bend the right knee and step the left foot back for easy twisting warrior. So I leave the left hand down, inhaling the right arm up. And exhale, push out through both feet. Press that left heel and that left midfoot down into the earth. And you may have done this too, Connie. I'm not sure. That back leg, that left leg, to feel that back of thigh almost being lifted toward that wall behind you. It's just like the hamstring. I'm not saying lift the foot. I'm just saying feel the back of your thigh engaging so it actually lifts toward the sky a little bit. That's it. That's it. Good. So this revolved pyramid, Inhale, bring the right hand down to the thigh. Shorten the stance a little bit and prop that left hand up on the block. Now, by reaching both sit bones back, right arm up, we're moving into Revolved Pyramid. If you want a little more challenge, you could put your left hand and that block to the outside of the right foot. Keep pushing, reaching through that back heel and lifting those toe pads. So you're engaging that back leg. Good. Inhale, bring the hands down. Exhaling, chaturanga. We'll step back, we'll lower down. We can lower all the way down. Boat. I'm going hands clasped. You might prefer having the touch kind of affirm what your pelvis is doing. So if you prefer grabbing the butt, do so. Reach back to the big toes. And when you reach back to the legs, just feel as the pelvis, left half, right half, still contacting the ground. Inhale. The guts away from the pelvis, reaching the legs back. Exhale as knuckles move back. Shoulders glide away from the ears. Couple more deep breaths. Again, that frame of mind, that perceptual shift brings us right to feeling, right to experience. Good, release. There could be a real freedom in not having to be an expert. Inhale, the hands under the chest. Exhale, downward dog. Pyramid. Inhale the left foot forward. Pyramid's a straight-legged stance. Shifting, getting that right heel, that back heel plugged into the earth. So I'm really flexing the ankle, flexing the foot. So I'm really trying to get the back of my right leg working. And that back of right leg influences my pelvis. So how do I get those backs of the leg, specifically the right, kind of pulling me back, pulling. Easy twisting warrior. Inhale, bend left knee. Scooching or stepping the right foot back. The right hand to the ground. Reaching the left arm up. Now, just going off of statistical observations, when we get into this pose, more often than not, we've kind of loosened our connection to our right foot. That's the back foot. And feel the heel reaching the back of the right thigh. Those are the hamstrings, the back of the right thigh. Engaged. That back of hamstring kind of tugs about the knee and the pelvis. Yeah, there should be no tweaks in the knee whatsoever. And you might try this, Brett. Like, you've got that leg connection pretty soundly. Now start to open up through the, it's through that mid-spine we're chatting about. There you go. And we're doing this the other while, is softening from the inside of the spine, the gut side of the spine. So while that leg is, here you go. All right, let's do that revolved pyramid. Inhale the left hand to the left leg. We'll re-shorten our stance. Right hand to the block. And the left arm skyward. And without any certainty, breathing this breath to know without already knowing. Inhale, bring the left hand down, the hands down. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. Inhale, step or lightly jump feet forward, monkey. Exhale, fold. Chair, inhale, bend knees, reach arms up. And stand, exhaling hands to heart. The final move before we sit down for Shavasana is we'll use the wall for shower. Recall, shower is this right angle. It's like a suspended downward dog. And so if you have a spot of wall, stand about 3 feet from it, and back we go. Just whenever you get in there, whenever you get to a spot, just connect to breath with the intent of not knowing, feeling, wanting to know, but not knowing already. How does this human substrate, this human form move today? How does this human form respond to breath today? And step forward to exit. And let's lie back. We'll take Shavasana. And continuing in this little perceptual state. Sensing without anticipation. Sensing without any predeterminations. Don't know. It's a way of viewing that allows for the emergent. It allows for novelty to enter the equation. Some people call that providence, some people call that chance. But allowing more variability to enter the system. And when you're ready, bend knees. Turn to his side and press to seated. Namaste.